So, what are hit dice? Every time you take a level in a class, you gain a hit dice from that class. Wizards are a d4, scouts are a d8, knights are a d12. So, Jamie has 4 levels of wizard. That means she has 4 d4 hit dice. Now, what do hit dice do? The most basic thing that they do is determine your maximum hit points. Every time you gain a level in a class, you roll that class hit dice and increase your maximum HP by that roll plus your constitution modifier. So when Jamie reaches level 5, she can take another level in Wizard and can get another d4 hit dice, meaning she would roll a 4-sided dice and increase her hit points by that plus whatever her constitution modifier is. Or she could take a level of Barbarian and she would get a d12 hit dice and roll that plus her constitution modifier, increasing her maximum hit points by that amount. After you complete level up, what are hit dice used for? There are 2 primary uses for hit dice that the game mechanics rely on. First is skill ranks. The maximum number of skill ranks you can spend on a skill is equal to your hit dice plus 3. So all of you have 4 levels in a class. That means you all have 4 hit dice. So you cannot spend more than 7 skill points into a skill. Secondly, hit dice affect eligibility of effects and eligibility of spells. For example, during character creation, Jamie asked about the color spray spell. If this spell were used on a goblin, for example, which only has 1 hit dice, the goblin would be knocked unconscious, would be blinded, and would be stunned for 2d4 rounds. Then, after those 2d4 rounds, it would be blinded and stunned for 1d4 rounds, and then it would just be stunned for 1 round. However, if color spray were used on Max the horse or on Alistair the knight, both of these have 3 or 4 hit dice. In that case, they would only be blinded and stunned for 1d4 rounds, and then stunned for 1 round. And if you were to use color spray on a creature that had 5 hit dice or more, it would just stun them for 1 round. In addition to color spray, there are other spells that also rely on hit dice. The sleep spell, for example. So we've talked about what the game mechanics use hit dice for, but what about the players? What can you use hit dice for? There are only 3 ways to heal hit points in the game. The most potent is to use healing spells. This requires a cleric or a druid or even a bard. The second way is through items like potions or a wand, or a command item like the Belt of Healing. Finally, you can heal through resting. Resting can be broken into short rests, which last about an hour, and full rests, which require 8 hours. Short rests let you use your hit dice in a number of ways. First and foremost, you can roll a number of hit dice up to your maximum and recover hit points equal to the total amount that you rolled. Secondly, each class has a unique way that they can use their hit dice in addition to healing. So, for example, the knight class is able to roll up to half their maximum hit dice and convert the total amount that they rolled into a damage pool that they can then add to attacks that they make up until their next short rest. So what this means in practice is that Piggle could take one of his d12 hit dice and he could roll it. And if he rolled a 10, he would convert that 10 into his damage pool. And up until his next short rest, every time he makes an attack successfully, he can add up to his current class level as extra damage from that damage pool. So if he makes an attack and he hits, he could take 4 points of damage from his damage pool because he's only a level 4 knight, and he can make his attack deal 4 more points of damage, and then his damage pool would only have 6 points in it. This represents the knight's ability to, during a short rest, constantly hone and repair and polish their sword and work on their equipment and work on their stances and just kind of maintain and practice their form. Spellcasters in general are able to convert hit dice to recover spell slots, and the way that equation works is it costs 2 times the level of spell slot you're trying to recover in hit dice. So a wizard trying to recover a first level spell slot would just spend 2 hit dice. There's no rolling involved, you just have 2 less hit dice for the day, and you get a first level spell back. So as you can see, some of these abilities are you rolling your hit dice and taking the number that you roll to create some other effect, and some of these abilities are just you consume the hit dice, but you don't need to roll it. You just get whatever effect that consumption gives you. Now, outside of short rests, the other form of rest is called a full rest, and as mentioned, it does generally take 8 hours. During a full rest, you regain 1 hit point per character level for free, so as 4th level characters, you would recover 4 hit points. In addition, this is where ability damage would be removed at the rate of 1 point per ability score, and this is where ability drain would force you to make a subsequent fortitude save to see if you can recover from it. In addition, any hit dice that you have remaining upon taking a full rest, you are able to roll, and unlike a short rest where you just roll the hit dice, add all the numbers up, and heal that much, during a full rest, you add your constitution modifier to every single hit dice that you roll. So, for example, Piggle has a +3 constitution, he would add an extra 3 hit points to every hit dice that he spent during a full rest. A full rest is also where you recover any used hit dice. So if throughout the day you have spent 3 hit dice during a full rest, this is where you would get those 3 hit dice back.